Alright, we're here for the final round, trying to 4-0, and this hand's actually pretty good. Obviously, if we get Thought Seized or our favorite Hoplite dies on turn 1, we're going to be in a little trouble, and that can happen because we are on the draw, to the point where we may even wait until turn 2 to play it. Alright, Zergo. Alright, well, we drew the Seeker of the way, so we're going to go ahead and play the favorite Hoplite, and if he just happens to go removal spell, then so be it. Alright, we didn't play another land, so that's pretty good for us. I'm going to play Seeker here over favorite Hoplite. If he doesn't have a land or Wild Slash, next turn we can just go favorite Hoplite and Defiant Strike and attack. I'm okay making that exchange. We get to grow our guy to be big enough to block, while also giving our guy lifelink now. So now we can block Zergo. It's unlikely he's going to be able to kill it. And he didn't draw another land, so he just conceded, which is reasonable. He's in a pretty bad spot on board, let alone all this awesome stuff I have going on in hand. So a little premature, but the red decks you can usually tell when you're going to be in good shape or bad. So we'll bring in the 2 Ordeal of Heliod, cut the Valor stances. I actually like Aqua's form in this matchup. They have a lot of token generators, and being able to just put that on a Seeker of the Way and get in like every turn and gain a bunch of life is pretty sweet. We don't want to overload on Treasure Cruises. Normally, my sideboard would have a lot more stuff for this matchup, but since I haven't played against him on a red deck in real life in a while, I was trying to build how I would build it for a live tournament as opposed to being focused on the Magic Online metagame. The 2 Ordeal of Heliod are the concession for that, though. But yeah, everything else looks pretty good. The Strash Dancers are probably a little too slow, but flying is actually pretty decent. And Encase in Ice is much worse against current built red decks. Like the bigger versions with Thunderbird Regent, we won it against them, I think. Anyway, this hand's pretty good. 4 toughness is a lot. Alright. And I think I'm just since we have 2 more creatures in hand, I think I'm actually fine just blocking. And if he has a removal spell, he has it. If he has Roast, though, that could be bad for us. Yeah, so he does Roast. It's a little awkward here. We're just leaving our guy open to die to a removal spell, but I think if we get him to burn his removal early, our Mentor could just take over the game. Oh, wow. Yeah, we're in a little bit of trouble here. Alright, that's not good. We actually need a land. So, turn 3, we're at 11. 2 of our guys have died. That's pretty good. If he plays Hordling Outburst, he gets to attack for 6, putting us to 5. Alright, we don't have that, so that's great. Good news. Lightning Strike, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, putting us... Oh, wow. Going for the jugular. Okay, I guess I can play Mentor. He didn't play a land, though, so I'm likely dead to anything he plays. We actually need a creature here, because he can stoke the Flamus, so that's irrelevant. If he plays a creature, we have to block the Founder Street Denizen, so if he doesn't, we actually have to block the other guy. Yeah, we could have played this game a lot differently, but he had all this removal, and that just meant we were going to die anyway, so it didn't really matter how we played it because we didn't draw God's Willing early enough. Suppose we could have just not played anything for the first few turns. Kind of want to bring in the Stratus Dancer. If the game goes late, I want to be able to maybe protect myself. Treasure Cruise is okay. I guess maybe we can board out like 2 Ordeal of Thassa. That actually sounds fine. Kind of a weird hand. The Treasure Cruisers are much better in this matchup when we have Dramoka's Command, because we can actually just kill most of their creatures. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and play a guy. I guess we want to play hero first because getting an extra couple scries off Battle West Hot Plate could be pretty good. Kind of hoping he just goes Hordling Outburst attack. Because now, if he just does that and attacks with it, I don't think I can block. Unless I want to trade, and I don't really want to trade. But next turn I can, like, Defiant Strike plus a Giant's Presence to protect, so... I'm actually just gonna pass here, I think. Hoping this is just Searing Blood. It's Lightning Strike. Okay. I feel like he really wants to use all of his mana every turn. He's tanking pretty hard. Hordling here is pretty gross. Playing this game really weird. Just like tapping and untapping a lot of lands. Yep. So now we can't play around Stoke the Flames, which kind of stinks. Might be able to bait him. Okay, well I guess he doesn't have Stoke the Flames, so that's pretty good for us. So we're going to take like 6 damage here. Guess we'll lead off with a Giant's Presence. Don't really want the land. Cycle this, maybe draw another creature. Alright, it's not so bad. Alright, I'm going to play both guys here. Probably just block and then play Treasure Cruise next turn. Hope he doesn't go dash and cast a Roast or Stoke the Flames. It's a little awkward playing the Strash Dancer face up, but I wanted something to trade with the Lightning Berserker, if that is what he casts this turn. So, yeah, I'm just going to try to do that. We're at 9, so we just block everything we can. Maybe we play around Searing Blood by blocking this guy. So we take 3 down to 6. Or we take 2 down to 7. Then the blood will put us at 4. We get to more Strash Dancer. I actually like this a little better, but because he tapped 2 earlier like he had Searing Blood. Although if he had Searing Blood, it makes more sense if he would just block like a little differently. Maybe he has Searing Blood. Maybe he was just bluffing it. Either way. Like if he Searing Bloods, then we're dead to like a bunch of top decks. But being at 4, okay. That was Lightning Strike, so he actually got us for an extra point of damage. Go ahead and Treasure Cruise for 1. Maybe draw a Seeker of the Way. We're at 6, so we're actually in reasonable shape. And now we're at 7. We're not... Alright, we're going to play safe here by playing our 2 guys. And we need to play the island there. I think I'm going to attack for 2. If he dashes something, we're going to take 1 down to 5. It's not a huge difference between that. Hordling Outburst was pretty good. I think we're going to trade off here if he attacks. Alright, we're not dead next turn, so we're going to cast this face down, and we're going to play the Scryland instead. Put that on bottom. So he can only hit us from 1, and then Stoke would be 5 total, so Eidolon of the Great Rebel. Yep, that is a good one. That's one we can't counter. Seeker. I kind of just want to flip this and start attacking. This is kind of gross. Not having like losing Dromoka's command is pretty bad for this matchup. That card is unbelievable in this matchup against them. I think I basically just have to counter any non-creature spell he casts. That's definitely one I want to counter. Now we can actually start attacking, maybe. It's a little dangerous, but I think I have to. Can't just sit back and wait on him to draw stuff. And if he wants to attack with the Eidolon, we can actually trade with it, and then we can start casting our other stuff. Another Whirling Outburst? Jeez. So he's 11. So if he attacks with everybody, 7, 8, 9. We block here, here, take 6 down to 1. But we can block, take 5 down to 2. Not a huge difference. Basically can't cast another spell anyway. So I guess, yeah, we would just trade with the Eidolon, and then we could maybe cast spells again. If he attacks for just the 7 guys, block 2 of those, go to take 5 down to 2, still can't cast a spell. At least now we can cast a spell. Hopefully he just drew a land. Or another Whirling Outburst. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Alright, well, let's start the Great Mentor Chain. I don't think we have enough mana to cast enough spells. Yeah. Yeah, I just drew too many Whirling Outbursts for us to overcome. Not a ton we can do about that. So, yeah, we can put him to 3. Doesn't really do much. Alright, yeah, this is not a good matchup anymore, which kind of stinks. Eidolon the Great Rebel, pretty good against us. Game 2 was a little weird. We could have played a little more conservatively, but I think his draws in games 2 and 3 were a little too much for us to beat. And that's just kind of how it is. If your metagame is full, well, we'll go ahead and concede this game, and then we'll talk about it some more. So. If your metagame is full of mono red, the Bant version is a lot better just because of how powerful Dromoka's command is. But with so much Abzan control in the mix right now, and Esper Dragons being like a pretty sweet deck, I just don't know if it's worth playing. You know, the card is really powerful, but you need your opponent to do very specific things for it to be great, and even in a lot of those situations, it's not the best thing you can do. So, adding another color just for one card just seemed kind of weird. I have seen versions of Bant play Den Protector, which was kind of cool, and that gives you a little more reason to play green. And being able to rebuy Dromoka's commands over and over, and have a guy that starts with a counter, so he gets counters quicker with the ordeals, is pretty sweet. And it also gives you a guy that's kind of hard to block, so you don't actually need Aqueous Forms in your deck anymore. So. Kind of an interesting take on the deck in that regard. But anyway, that's going to be all for me this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll probably see you tomorrow with an article or something. But thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.